Have a listen to this clip here where Donald Trump lays out what's at stake.
This towering American spirit has prevailed over every challenge and lifted us to the summit of human endeavor. And yet, despite all of our greatness as a nation, everything we have achieved is now in danger. This is the most important election in the history of our country.
James, do you think Americans recognize how important it is?
Yeah, look, I think they do, and I don't think that's hyperbole there. You know, let's remember that when Barrack Obama was president, he promised to fundamentally transform the nation, fundamentally transform the United States. Now, the voters rejected that ultimately when they brought in Donald Trump. But those Obama people, they didn't go away, and they have been taking control of the left, and that is what this election is all about. It's not Joe Biden who's going to be in control if he wins. It's going to be all the retreads from the Obama administration and all these very far-left, violent, radical leftists who have a very radical program for the United States. That's what this is about. It's not about, you know, it's going to be a little more to the left or a little more to the right. Taxes might be higher or lower. This is really an election that is about what does America look like for the next 10, 20, 100 years?
Rita, James mentioned Barack Obama's hyperbole. He was going to turn back the waters and the oceans were...
Talk about hyperbole. He was going to stop the rising oceans.
That's right.
Hyperbole, please.
The highlight.
Exactly.
And then he got the Nobel Peace Prize,
Yeah,
which
that's
is basically getting elected.
Exactly.
And then he turned Libya into an open-air slave market. I mean, really, it's astonishing. I think Obama's greatest legacy is Trump. The reason we have Trump, because we had 8 years of Obama.
Well, listen to this. I particularly liked this mention of the Paris Climate Accord from Donald Trump in his speech.
I then immediately approved the Keystone XL and Dakota Access pipelines, ended the unfair and very costly Paris Climate Accord, and secured for the first time American energy independence.
I mean, it staggers me, Rita and James. He spells out very clearly how costly the Paris Agreement was to the American economy. Think how it's destroying ours, and yet we have no leaders prepared to stand up to it. Rita, your next moment?
I like how he tackled the anti-American self-loathing sentiment that runs deep within the Democrats. Have a look.
So tonight I ask you a simple question. How can the Democrat Party ask to lead our country when it spends so much time tearing down our country?
And that went to the whole thing of statues being torn down that we've seen over the last 6 months, and the lovely imagery that Ivanka Trump also played up on, James, of the idea that her father is a builder. That's his legacy. He's a builder.
Yeah, look, he's a builder, and he does talk a lot in the speech about some of the building that he's done. But, you know, I think also, let's also not forget that he's a builder, he's a president, he's a leader, but also he's a pretty funny guy. There were some really good laugh lines in this speech here, and I loved this one where he's talking about Joe Biden and his history with the unions, where he was always being very positive on the unions and then sending their jobs overseas. But have a look at how he played this one.
For 47 years, Joe Biden took the donations of blue-collar workers, gave them hugs and even kisses.
Rita, he has such a great sense of humour, doesn't he?
He does, and his comedic timing is fantastic. He doesn't get enough credit for that. I mean, the people who absolutely loathe him have to admit that we'll never have a funnier president than Donald Trump. Yeah, I just thought the speech for my liking was a little bit too long, but I think I like the fact that he tackled some of the big issues, including things like China.
Yeah, and absolutely, and Israel. And I thought this was fantastic. I agree with you, it was long, but when looking back on it, he had so much to say, and how unusual for a president to actually have a list of achievements. This was one of my favourites.
Unlike many presidents before me, I kept my promise, recognized Israel's true capital, and moved our embassy to Jerusalem. But not only did we talk about it as a future site, we got it built. Rather than spending $1 billion on a new building as planned, we took an already owned existing building in a better location. Real estate deal, right?
There's that great gag. Great gag. Rita.
And China. Throughout the four-day convention, there were plenty of mentions of China. And Trump just reminded everybody that China does want Biden elected.
Joe Biden's agenda is made in China. My agenda is made in the USA.